This is the Iowa Weather Report for Wednesday, July the 1st, 2015. Now our first look at the 0Z GFS model run at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Still have a ridge over the west and a trough over the east. Northwesterly flow around here is going to bring some systems near the state, but it looks like a lot of the rain is going to be over our southern and far western counties of the state. You can see here the best chances of any precipitation looks to be across Missouri down into the southern parts of Texas and most of the south. Readings today in the 70s and lower 80s, and that's going to be the case for most of the week as we go through the rest of the week. We have a system following that system moving in, and that looks to also favor pretty much the western and southern counties, although there could be a chance of rain pretty much anywhere in the state. As we move into Friday, you can see the chances of precipitation are fairly limited, mainly in our southern counties, but as you can see up to our west and northwest, it's fairly dry, and that means as we go into the weekend here on Independence Day, on Saturday, it looks to be that it will be dry, it will not be humid, it will be seasonally cool with highs around 80, 70s northeast to mid-80s south and west. Sunday, however, will be a tad more humid as winds will be turning around to the south. Humidity will start to increase. Front will be approaching from the west and northwest. So we could see upper 70s to mid to upper 80s across the state. And then very late Sunday night, but looking more like Monday and Monday afternoon, frontal system will be approaching from the west. This could bring us some showers and thunderstorms, especially Monday afternoon into Monday night, and possibly even here into Tuesday. Looks to be clearing out maybe by the midday hours on Tuesday. Slightly cooler conditions behind the front as temperatures fall back into the 70s to around 80 at that point. And then that system continues to move further to the east. And as you can see here by next Wednesday, there's no ridge over the west anymore. Pretty much is zonal again. Pretty much the main track from west-east across the northern tier of the country. However, this looks to be a very temporary pattern change as the system is continuing to move off to our east away from us. A little bit of monsoonal flow in the south and west and some popcorn showers and storms out in the mountains with slightly below seasonal levels by next week. But as we mentioned before, it's a temporary change because as we go into the extended period on July the 12th, the northwesterly flow is back. There's the trough over the east, a somewhat flat ridge over the west, kind of extending back into the northeastern Pacific, and that means it's going to get warm to some cases downright hot across the west again. Around here, we're just going to get pelted with these showery conditions with systems coming in and diving in from the north and west. So that looks to be the case even through the rest of the extended period here on the 16th. Still a trough over the east, bit of a ridge centered over the Four Corners region if this is to be correct. And the flow still coming out of the west to northwest. That means temperatures will stay fairly cool. Continue systems moving through the area every day or day and a half to 2 or 3 days or so. So it looks to be rather cool, rather wet, and no signs of any heat waves at this point, but things could still change. Speaking of some change, the satellite image from last evening shows a lot of change across the west with the monsoonal flow out there. Still blazing hot in some parts of the west, though. A couple of clouds across the middle west and out into the Great Lakes and into the south, from somewhat quiet elsewhere. The watch warning map for last evening, a couple of severe weather watches at the time, one over the Dakotas, one over Arizona. Heat continues over the west and northwest. Flash flood watch in Missouri and also across Pennsylvania. Quiet elsewhere. The QPF chart, precipitation over the next 5 days. This goes through Saturday evening, or Sunday evening at 7 o'clock, shows very little rain in our northeastern counties to maybe about a half to 3/4 of an inch over the southern counties, heaviest over the mid-south.